Hey Elijah, what are you doing?
I'm not ready for spring break to be over. What time is it anyway?
It's 9:29.
Oh, that reminds me, we need to film the 29th edition of the EDS News.
Now for this week's innate edition of In the Halls, where we put EDS students on the hot seat.
People buy me to eat, but never eat me. What am I?
Time.
Food.
Money.
I fly without wings and cry without eyes. What am I?
I don't know.
I'm lighter than air, but can never be lifted. What am I?
Nothing.
Clouds.
Space.
Feed me and I live, yet give me a drink and I'll die. What am I?
Fire.
A fire.
Fire.
If what goes up must come down, and what comes down, that must go up.
Gravity.
Gas. Air and gas.
Now for this week's edition of What's Hot, the NCAA tournament. On Sunday, Notre Dame and Mississippi State competed in the women's NCAA tournament. The game was a thriller with Notre Dame's Enrique Ngwale and Jackie Young competing against Mississippi State's Victoria Vivens and Tiara McCowan. In the final seconds of the game, Notre Dame had possession of the ball with the score tied 58-58. Notre Dame inbounded the ball to Enrique, and she made a fadeaway corner three to win the national championship for Notre Dame as the buzzer sounded. Jackie Young played amazing throughout the women's NCAA tournament, having a 30-point performance against undefeated UConn. She also scored crucial baskets in the closing minutes of the national championship game. Jackie represented Southern Indiana well. On Monday, the Michigan Wolverines and the Villanova Wildcats squared off for the men's national championship held in San Antonio, Texas. Michigan's Mo Wagner and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman could not handle Villanova's explosive offense. Villanova's Dante DiVincenzo had an amazing game, scoring 31 points on 10 out of 15 shooting. Kyle Bridges added 19 points for the Wildcats. The Wildcats outscored the Wolverines 79-62. Villanova took home the 2018 National Championship, their second in 3 years. Dante DiVincenzo was voted the most outstanding player of the Final Four. That's all for this week on What's Hot. Tune in next week for more.
And now for sports. On April 3rd, the high school track team was scheduled to compete against Bosse and North at Bosse, but the meet was canceled due to bad weather. On April 4th, the high school girls tennis team completed their first match of the season against Heritage Hills at Heritage Hills. Unfortunately, they lost in a competitive match. On April 5th, the high school boys golf team competed in a tri-match against Mount Vernon and Harrison. Unfortunately, they did not win. On Saturday, April 8th, the middle school track team is scheduled to compete at Memorial at 1 p.m. That's all for this week of sports. Tune in next week for more.
Hi, my name is Domino, and it's time for lower school news. Before spring break, the lower school participated in Peace Week. We did a lot of activities, including painting kindness rock sewing Nikki flannels, writing stories, doing dance and performance arts, and enjoying special daily topics. We had a lot of fun. That's all for the lower school news this week. Tune in next week for more.
This week on middle school news, the week of Intersession, the middle school students had a week of experiential learning, taking field trips to Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center, University of Southern Indiana Health Fair, Tri-State Athletic Club, and New Harmony. They also enjoyed their trip to St. Louis. That's all for middle school news. Tune in next week for more.
And now for this week on upper school news. Gianna Meckler has been selected for this summer's Health Science Institute. HSI is a 2-week program sponsored by Deaconess Hospital and the EDSC, which allows area high school students to experience medical careers firsthand. Oh, by the way, Bella's birthday was Monday.
Now for this week on upcoming events. Tonight, the upper school will be hosting their annual play from 6 to 9. On Tuesday, the GLNHS is having a crepe sale at lunch. On Saturday, the 14th, EDS will be hosting the annual gala at Doubletree, Evansville from 6 to 11 p.m. From Monday, April 16th to Thursday, May 3rd, grades 3 to 10 will be taking I-Step Part 2. Prom is on Saturday, April 21st at Boogie Nights from 8 to 11 p.m. The Darlings and Dates dance is on Saturday, April 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. That's all for this week on upcoming events. Tune in next week for more.
And now for an update on high school Intersession Trips. A group of 12 students along with Miss Heck and Mr. Bennett went to Chicago for Intersession. They went to the Art Institute of Chicago, the Planetarium, the Contemporary Art Museum, the Architectural Boat Tour, and the Museum of Science and Industry. They also visited the Bean, Navy Pier, Chinatown, various colleges, and attended a Bulls game.
10 students and 5 adults went to Beijing, China for Intersession. Their chaperones were Miss Sarah, Dr. Foster, Mr. Schulteis, Miss Powell, and her father, Papa Chong. They went to the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, Tiananmen Square, the Temple of Heaven, the Summer Palace, and the Pearl Market. They painted Beijing Opera Mass, went to a tea tasting, the Beijing Zoo, and a day trip to the city of Tianjin. The trip was very educational and the students had a great time.
During the week of March 16th through the 23rd, a group of 15 students went on a marine biology intersession with the chaperones, Mrs. Winford and Mrs. Ausch. The time was spent in many places in Florida, including Miami, Marathon, Key Largo, and Key West. The students went on an academic Everglades airboat tour where they learned about the life of alligators and crocodiles and the culture of the Everglades. The students also received an informational kayaking trip through the mangroves where they saw many different types of jellyfish, king crabs, and reef sharks while also learning the importance of the mangrove trees. Throughout the trip, the students also spent a lot of time in the water, snorkeling in the world's 3rd largest coral reef in Key West, where students saw many different types of marine wildlife such as pufferfish, reef sharks, and sea turtles. Later on in the trip, students encountered stingrays and sharks, which included petting and feeding them. They also went to the famous Key West Sea Turtle Hospital, where they learned the dangers of sea turtles are currently in and what we can do to help them. The students had a wonderful experience in Florida where they made memories that will last forever. Thank you again to Ms. Winford and Mrs. Ausch for making this week possible.
Thanks for joining us in this week's edition of the EDS News.
Join us next week and we'll see if we can get Elijah awake for the 30th edition of the EDS News.